All right, man. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raquak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing his truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim. We almost out of here, man. All right. And I'm going to just basically go, into this lesson on current events, current topics. Okay. Things that's going on right here, right now, in this little space of time, and going into future prophecies based off of the things that you can actually see with your own two eyes. All right. Now, article that has been continuously coming across my news feed is going into that Marburg disease. Very, very deadly disease. 9 times out of 10, if you get it, you're a dead man. Okay. It's kind of similar to Ebola. I'm pretty sure it was manufactured, but at the end of the day, it's here for what? It's here for judgment. Let me get a precept real quick. Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, so going into great death. All right. Matter of fact, plague. Going into great death, going into plague. A great number of people under the sun is going to end up with these different viruses, these different sicknesses, these different ailments, these different biological weapons that Dexter is creating in his laboratory, talking about E. All right. And what is going to happen was going to end up happening is what? Great death is going to follow. Like I said, with that Marburg disease, is basically uncurable with a 90% death rate. All right. You just close your eyes and think about that. And they're already talking about going into the lab and making a VAX. We've seen this before, right? It's the times we live in there, man. It's the times that we live in there. And Putin is throwing basically everything except for the kitchen sink at the Ukrainians, man. And the only reason that the Ukrainians are able to fight off Russia and to actually have a fight is because of all of the outside help. Everybody's pledging money, sending them machinery, state-of-the-art defense systems, all of these different technologies that has them able to fight against Russia. But at the end of the day, it's really a proxy war. Everybody that's putting their money and sending weaponry to Russia, Russia is going to end up attacking those people. Every last one of them. Okay, Russia and her allies are getting together behind closed doors. All right, it is what it is. Let me go to another one so we can show that the scriptures back one another up, because it comes from the same source. Matthew 7 and 24. Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. So Matthew saw the same thing that Ezra saw, because they're prophets, and there's only one ending. It's only one truth. So it's not alternate future scenarios available in prophecy. It's only one thing. It's the script. It's the only one script that the Lord made. Okay, it will be followed. Free will is non-existent. It's a fabrication of your imagination. Okay, so kingdom against kingdom. The kingdoms that's supporting Ukraine is going to end up fighting against Russia, and at the end of the day, the Lord is going to use that in turn to have them come into the battle of all battles. And let me get that real quick. Okay, this is Joel 3 and 14. Matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, we're going to start higher up. This is Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So that's basically saying, let your workers gear up and turn into warriors. Okay? Don't use the energy in the manufacturing for everyday life. Use it and turn it into, you turn the nation into a war machine. And it says, let the weak say, I'm strong. Everybody's ready to fight. North Korea call itself showing out in front of America, man, with their nuclear arsenals. Okay? In times past, that was unheard of, man. Unheard of. Okay? This is verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. So let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. See, that's when the Lord is going to wipe all the armies off the face of the earth. But a lot has to happen prior to that. But you can see that snowball effect. You can see the rubber hitting the road. You can see where these things are going to happen before our eyes in our lifetime. You should be able to see it. Okay? And America, it just takes one event. It's just going to be one event. And America is gonna it's just gonna go into all out chaos. Another pandemic, she's gonna break, and she's not gonna be fixed again. Maybe a staged attack, maybe a real attack. When the lights go out, I mean, America has so many prophecies. It's more prophecies in America than outside of America. That's for damn sure. They just had that explosion on the Ohio River, and the Ohio River feeds into the Mississippi. Okay, that's a good way for those fish to be poisoned, and a whole lot of other things to happen. Right? They've been arresting people back to back to back, and these people have been aiming at the power grid, and basically the infrastructure. China sent a spy plane over here. That was probably a EMP. I don't know. It was way in the atmosphere. You just have these different militant groups at each other's throat. Okay, you can clearly see race wars are brewing. And another thing, the rent is too damn high. Okay, housing is increasing. Food is definitely increasing, man. Food is increasing. Food costs way more this year than it cost last year. And when you go to the grocery store, or if you go to a burger joint, the prices have gone up, but the quantity has gone down. Those hamburgers are not the same size. Those packs of whatever you buy is not the same size. I mean, even with the washing powder or any kind of food product, the packaging and the quantity inside of it is getting smaller and the price going up, and people can't see that. Those containers and those bottles are getting smaller, man. Hyperinflation is basically right at the door. People's paycheck is not going to be able to catch up with the inflation. It's not going to be able to. It's not going to happen. And what people going to do? They're going to take to the streets. They're going to try to take over their immediate living space, wherever they live, like maybe a 1 mile circumference or whatnot, and try to get all of the all of the resources. People are going to band together. They're going to have gangs. People are going to go back into that primal mind frame. Women are definitely going to be raped. All of that women's rights, women are equal to men. That train of thought is going to snap in a 24-hour period. Women are going to be commodities, as they have been basically from the beginning of time. And nothing against a woman, but the Lord made a woman to be a servant. Right? And it is what it is. A woman don't have no business speaking among men. And the Lord is just coming to put things back into its proper perspective. Let me get a quick precept on America. It's the 2 Ezra 15:15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So when you dealing with America, it's going to be reminiscent of a protest, except for everybody going to be strapped and they're going to be using their guns. And these are different groups. These are different race groups. These are different political groups. These are different religious groups. People with different ideologies. Everybody is going to try to kill one another. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Invading one another goes into what? Coming into your house, pulling you out of your car, taking your daughter, taking your wife. Okay? Invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And kings and the princes, that goes into the government. That goes into the laws of the land. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're not going to be in trouble for the things that they do. Nobody's going to come and arrest them. Okay? There's going to be nothing that the government can do to quell the things that's going to happen. They're going to be afraid too. I'm going to drop down to verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So we're coming upon a time where your neighbor of 20 and 30 years is going to be a meal, and he's going to look at you the same way. And it says destroying their house with the sword. Now that goes into, certain government factions putting holy hell upon the men of the Lord, shooting their house up, but it also goes into you and your neighbors. What? You and your neighbors, people that live around you, your fellow Americans, coming into your houses with guns, shooting you through the window, man. Okay? It is what it is. And Salakia, this goes straight into neighbors. This doesn't go to the persecution of the men of the Lord. But, it's going to be a simultaneous event when these things are happening. The men of the Lord are going to be getting persecuted. Okay? But it's going to be just a lot of kickdoing, man. A lot of grabbing, a lot of stabbing, a lot of killing, a lot of shooting, a lot of looting. Okay? The list goes on. It's going to be a whole lot of everything, man. And like I said, if you look at the news, and if you have a half a brain, and you believe certain reports that come out and don't think everything is a goddamn conspiracy, then you can see the rubber hitting the road. Because when people were warning people against that medical mandate, when they were being warned about these things, they didn't believe it. And look at them now. They're talking about having lawsuits against that forced thing. They're talking about how people are dropping unalive. Okay? They're talking about all the negative things that that mandate has created in the bodies of the people that accepted them. And I don't think they've seen nothing yet. I believe it's something dormant up in there that's waiting on a certain signal, but we'll see. Okay? We'll definitely see. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is in control of everything, and at the end of the day, this is his program. Okay? But you can't have more faith in a fucking man than you do with the Lord. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Okay. Right, 1 minute. I haven't pulled this one in a minute. All right, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Isaiah 31 from the top. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the King. So this is talking in this passage. Salakia, Egypt represents what? The government, the powers that be, and man is so infatuated on depending upon them because of the ambulance, because 911 and all other things that they provide. Okay, but instead of looking toward man, you should be looking toward Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, verse 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fail, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fall together. And that's what's ultimately going to happen. Esau is going to fall. Okay, the government is going to fall, and everybody that depends on the government is going to fall with it. No more government assistance. No more SSI. No more food stamps, Eve. Okay? No more hospitals to run to. And your people are not going to know how to live. And your government is actually going to turn on you. All right? And this account in Isaiah, it's a spiritual twofold scripture. This has already happened in Egypt. Okay? The Israelites were afraid, and they went down to Egypt and asked the Egyptians to help them, and both of them ended up getting taken down. Okay, so these things are going to happen again. There's nothing new under the sun, and the Lord is just that powerful. Well, in a historical text has through the Spirit metamorphed into a future prophecy. You can't make this up. You can't. Okay. Now with that, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwakwa, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing his truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim, Kwam Yasharala, Abal Babal.